MIT, everyone. And, and one more thing, in every concert show that you go, you have the real rock star. So I'm only the beginning of what's going to be. I have with me Mr. Zvika Weiss. Zvika considered to be one of the world top experts in this field, with many, many years of experience. You can go up and say good morning. And
I don't know about the rock star, but thank you anyway.
okay.
Okay, all set.
Okay, so we will divide this, just to go briefly, just for you to know what in this part. Now I'm going to look serious. You know why? I'm going to put my eyeglasses. Okay, I hope now I look serious. Okay, so in any case, today's part, it's going to be this way. I'm going to tell you a little bit, really shortly, about our group, okay? Because at the end of the day, all of us probably will be friends, so you should know who are the people that you are speaking with. We'll speak about the IP. We'll go down on many definitions that are related to IP. And the legal aspect of commercialization. And this will be my part. And then Zvika will follow up with all the others, the technology transfer process, some special topics of technology transfer, how to establish the technology transfer arm, and summary and closure, okay? But shortly, just for me to know a little bit about you, I will be more than happy. I will just share the mic with you. If everybody just can say 2 words, where the name. I will try to remember. I don't promise that I will remember everybody, but I will try. Okay, and just a few words about your university or institution. If you remember, if you can tell me, state very shortly, as many, like even just number of researcher, if you are aware of, and also one thing that might be interesting for us to know, if you know it, how many licensed officers, okay, you have in your university, okay? This just name, and these 2 facts will be, if you know it, okay? If not, then very shortly.
Hi. My name is Watanachak Pumises. I'm from Ministry of Science and Technology. I'm not from the university or institution.
Thank you.
Oh, what about you? Hello, I'm Tilanut, or you can call me Pung. I'm from King Mongkut University of Technology, Thonburi, shortened as KMUTT. And
Thank
I'm
you.
a researcher.
Nice to meet you.
Hello, my name is Patipat Thanapongchat from Rajabhat Uttaradit University.
My name is Konwat Kamongam from Uttaradit Rajabhat University.
What is your position in the university?
I'm lecturer and researcher.
Hello, my name is Flavut Kongkwan. I'm from Pin of Songkha University. I'm coordinator project.
Hello, my name is Thongthep Chamningan. I'm from Songkha, Prince of Songkha University. I am intellectual property officer. We have technology transfer officer, only 2 persons in university.
How many researchers?
About 3,000.
3,000 researchers. Okay.
Thank you.
Hello everyone.
I'm Sitharan Amatawet. I'm from Pin of Songkla University Science Park. I am intellectual property officer. For my university, we have 3,000 researchers and so we have two technology transfer officer, he and me. Yep. So for Pin of Songkla University, we have 5 platforms to serve the university. We have incubation center for incubate student and entrepreneur to be startup. We have intellectual property office for manage the intellectual property and transfer technology to industry. And we have office of industrial liaison to coordinate industry and university for do the research and technology transfer. We have innovation design center for design the innovation and packaging to add the value for the product to make the high value to industry. And the last one is co-research. We have the co-research platform for make the research with research and industry to make the high value. We hope it will be big impact to drive the economy for Thailand. Thank you.
Thank you. Nice.
Good morning. I'm Pasha from Pin of Songkla University, Science Park, the same. I'm a project coordinator for Thailand Mobility Program. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm student from Suranali University Technology.
Hello, my name is Abhisit Gaon. I'm studying from Suranali University of Technology.
Hello, my name is Supani. We are from Suranali University of Technology.
I study entrepreneurship. Hi, I'm Saladamut, or you can call me Dido. I'm studying entrepreneurship in Suranali University of Technology.
Hello, my name is Rashwan. I'm licensing agent from National Science and Technology Development Agency. Good morning, my name is Sasin Chawanakun. You can call me Sasin. I'm licensing agent from National Science and Technology Development Agency.
Hello, my name is Minta from Lat Krabang. I'm intellectual property officer.
My name is Thanithorn Omapang. I'm come from the King Mongkut Institute of Technology, Lat Krabang, MITL. I am the
How many research you have in? No problem, no problem.
I'm sorry, I'm not
that's
sure.
Fine, that's fine.
Okay. Officer T3.
Next.
Good morning. I'm Prabhakar Pithayachawan. I'm come from Suranali University. My position is Deputy of Director of Technopolis. For my office, we have 2 officers for protection IP and 2 officers for commercialization. But they just starting for learn how to commercialization. Actually, they just to starting with my office last day. Actually, today we come here I come here with my colleagues with 2 persons, but they don't, I don't know where is him today, right now. And I think he will come as soon as possible. Thank you.
No problem. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, no problem.
Hello, my name is Priyapat Jaikang from Science and Technology Chiang Mai University.
Good morning, I'm Sirilat from Science and Technology Chiang Mai University. Around 2,500.
Nice. Okay, perfect. Good morning. Where have you been? All of us just waiting for you. No, this is. Good morning. Good morning. What is your name?
Yes, my name is Virachai from Kolat, far away from here.
Nice meeting you.
Yes.
How many researchers you have in your?
Research, I had a faculty member 350. 350.
350.
Yes.
And how many license officers do you know?
Only 4.
Only 4.
Yes.
It's not bad. It's a statistic,
Yes.
by the way. Okay, nice. So, hi, and you? What is your name?
My name is Pansa.
Pansa. Okay.
Yes, I came with them from Nakhon Ratchasima.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yes. Okay, nice. So let me start saying, and again, before you arrived, we made an agreement, so I will repeat on the terms of the agreement that everybody will be part of it. We said that this is a very non-formal event. It means that if you have a question, you can ask. And from my side, it means that if I say something that might sound a little bit rude or aggressive, please don't judge me, because I really mean good, okay? And I'm saying it just in order to encourage you, because as for now, something really doesn't make sense for me. And this is something that by the end of the day, I hope that all of us will understand better, and we'll try to see how we can solve it, okay? It doesn't make sense that it's in such a big country like Thailand with a very strong industry, and I will relate to it in a second. There are so little number of patents. It doesn't make sense. Something here needs to be changed. Now, there might be some factors that are behind this. Maybe, and I'm not dealing now even with global exposure, okay? We will deal with it as well when we speak about commercialization and the best way to do it. But even if I speak locally, okay? Only the Southeast Asia market is now close to 700 million people, okay? So it would make sense that there will be more patents here in order just to make sure that you are part of this game. Because eventually, all this technology transfer is about providing real asset to the universities. This is what the university have. This is the way they make money. And now let me take you back to AGW, and we will, and again, if somebody can come up with answers to this question, I will be more than happy to hear. Just to understand it, really understand it. Is it an issue of mentality? Is it an issue of approach? Is it an issue of budget? Just to understand it. At the end of the day, it does also make sense from my side that there will be so many researchers with few license officers. And we will try also to explain why the strategy of focusing on the patent committee and the license officer can save, it can make a lot of money, and it can also save a lot of money. And we will explain it shortly today. And again, we can get in details to anything that is relevant to this issue. And we will see how it grows. But again, if somebody can come up at any stage and say, okay, this is the reason, this is the answer, please feel free to do it, okay? It's important, very important. Now, you know, I study, so again, my name is Eitan Lavi. I'm in this field of technology more than 25 years. Now, I'm coming from Israel. And in Israel, we are called the startup nation. I will say a few things about Israel for those who are less familiar. So Israel, it's quite a small country. We are, all of us, all the population is 8 million, around 6.2 million Jewish people. And the size of our country is around Chiang Mai, that's it. Nevertheless, with numbers, we have more than 1,500 startups every year. We have more than $5 billion exit every year. And we are leading, we consider as leaders in many fields. And if you want me to go briefly understand, by the way, is anybody is not familiar with Israel here or heard the name Israel before? Okay, so I assume many heard it, okay? And many start also trying to understand what is the secret? Why Israel innovations really do something? So if I will try to explain it in one word, I think it's issue of survival, okay? And it's the history of the Jewish people. And I think if you judge our history, we actually were established as a country only 69 years ago. And we returned to Israel after more than 2,000 of years being exiled, okay? So during this year, actually we've been spread, these 2,000 years, we've been spread all around the world in many, many countries. Thailand, China, Europe, US, whatever. So it created some kind of networking, okay? And when we returned to a country in which we were, at the first day that we declared our independence, we were being attacked by 13 countries, just attack Israel, okay? At our first day of independence. We were celebrating the street, boom, then we have bombs. So under this reality, you need, in order to survive, really, you just need to invent yourself. And we didn't have any natural resources at that time. And so the only thing we had is our brain and our, I hope, optimism. And this actually took us into a position that within the 69 years, I think we did some miracles, really, in this country. And humbly saying, I'm really proud to be Israeli, you know. And from our point of view, one thing that and more than that, I'm very happy also to try and contribute from our experience to Thailand. And the way that we are trying to do it is we are involved in AGW in several fields here. The last thing that we did was the Spark program, in which we did it with the NIA, the National Innovation Agency, in which we actually took 12 startup companies into Accelerator. The winning company visited last week in Israel. They were part of the Google Launchpad. One more important fact about Israel, and this relates also to commercialization and the way that maybe we can help you in the future as well. In Israel, you have more than 400, in this small place, you have more than 400 multinational companies. When Apple decided to open her first R&D center, she did it in Israel. Samsung, the same. All the big companies opened their R&D center. Why? Because of the human resource. And many of the things that you are, that actually you're using, like flash disk or whatever, or the camera in your mobile, most of these things were developed in Israel. Okay? Now, so nevertheless, there is no monopoly on wisdom. I will continue saying we are all born equal. So it means that there is no reason when we try to go and develop this kind of thing inside Thailand, you can do the same. I really believe in this. You even start with a better basis from the fact that you have a very strong industry here. And it means that there are needs to this industry. And the only thing you need to do is just to be aware of it and to try to develop some technology that answer these needs. And this can, even if at the beginning you will focus on Southeast Asia, still you have a very big market, and then you can take it one step forward to the world, okay? So this should be the basic assumption. Please understand that you can do it as good as all the others, okay? This should be the basic approach of everything, and the only thing needs to be done, if you ask my opinion, and you are coming from the universities, is just to learn, to learn and implement, and always to move forward. And this is your responsibility, by the way. When you are sitting here and trying to be exposed to the information that we will now share with you, just take it one step forward. And I know that there are political, government, many other things that might be relevant in order to implement this process, but still there is one truth, and the truth that it needs to be done, okay? And this is what you take from today, hopefully. Now, again, from Israeli perspective, you need to understand that in a small country with many innovations, it's like you are always in some racing car, You always drive in racing car. So after doing it more than 20 years, the hair wasn't white at the beginning, it was black. So, but after 20 years, you just learn a little bit how to drive your car, and we'll try to take this know-how into today's session. And again, please, if there are any questions of any kind, by the way, the guy that just joined us, his name is Champ. He's from NAA. He also visited Israel last week, and he joined the Google Launchpad. Okay, guys, so yes? Okay. Yes, so actually, Champ is part of the NAA. So he joined the team, but I will explain. Okay. So in this program, we choose 12 startup companies in different fields. The company and we took them into a boot camp of 8 weeks, and we brought 26 international mentors, really from Facebook, Google, whatever, and I think, humbly saying, nobody ever did it in Thailand before, okay? Not all the other accelerate, nobody came with this large-scale mentors, and Champ can witness for it, I think. So they were really exposed. And I just mentioned yesterday, the chief strategy of Facebook visited them, and it was based on 3 days program in which one day was for lecture, the other day was for mentoring one-on-one, session in which they have like a speed dating, with each of the mentors trying to give them. I wish we could have more time. This is what we are probably aiming to do in the next one. And the third day was meeting with the industry or sessions with all mentors in combination. We in the first day, like we brought Kusamatai from Amata Group and from the Thai Federation, just to speak with them in order to give them. Now, during this boot camp, we try to emphasize on bringing them many strengths, and it's still only 8 weeks, but I think most of them improved, at least by the results. The top 5 companies, like after this program, they won prizes in each of the competition they went to. So I think it can speak for itself about the achievements. But the team that won, their name is Penguin Tea. It's an interesting company that deals with travel. They are actually providing prices of flights in cheaper flights price, but the way that they do it, it's not like kayak or whatever. They develop technology in which they speak with the offline market, and it's a big market in Southeast Asia. All these travel agents that they only have papers, not connected, so they actually approach it in a nice way. But one of the most important things that really put them in a better position was their approach. They were very serious in what and every time that we asked something, they came with a solution and they took it seriously. And by the way, this is the key factor. Now for us as, we've been involved in thousands of startups we saw in our career, really. The key factor for success in anything, it can be startup, university, whatever, it's the human factor. So I really believe in this, okay? Even if people approach us for investment in startups, and I think one of the most important things that we will ever pay attention to, it's the quality of the founder. How does he treat his startup? How does he reflect? So these guys from Penguin Tea, they were just serious. They arrived to all the meetings and they approached it clear. So we said, okay, this is a nice combination. And when we took them, by the way, to Google, in which we of course have personal connections with, they were very satisfied with them. They liked them. They said, okay, we like these guys, and even now we try to support them after this program just to make sure that they will be on the right track, because I believe in these guys. So I think it was nice, for them to come and just, again, to be exposed. And this is part of the process. Just be exposed, learn things. And when you are bringing these 26 mentors from all around the world, I think it's nice experience, okay? Even if there are still, for some of them, it was only the exposure. I'm not sure that all of them got all the assets that they could receive from the mentors, because sometimes you need to be mature in order to make it happen, But I think only the exposure is nice. And this is the process. Now again, what I see in Thailand for the last Okay, so it means, but I think what it means, and I think now it's time to start for the real stuff, but the preliminary introduction was important for me, okay? Because I think this should be the basis of today. And we try to make it interesting, okay? As much as possible. So let us start with Are there any more questions, by the way, before me starting? Okay, you remember the agreement. You can come up at any time. So, of course, nice to meet you. IP, okay. I will start with the IP. So, basically, when we speaking on IP from technology transfer aspect, we will deal with process under technology transfer, general terms, the budgeting of the IP, managing IP portfolio, and the patent committee. This will be the process that we will now go in details. Now, again, the basic assumption here will be that we start from scratch, okay? So most of you probably heard some of the things, but we will go it from our perspective, okay? Just to explain it step by step. So how does it work usually? So it starts with a researcher that he wants to publish his new idea, but he cannot do it without trying to protect first his right. Because otherwise, you know that 80%, by the way, statistically, of the registered patent, now I think it's 75 or something like this, are being disqualified after they are registered. You know why? Because at some stage, somebody knows that some student in Timbuktu or some small university somewhere wrote an article about it. And that's it. That's the end of the story. So it means that you cannot publish anything, and I'm telling to the researcher in this team, without first trying to protect your right. That's it. Because if it's not novel and real novel, and we'll speak shortly about how you do it properly, that's it. So it means that it starts with this. Now, when he wants to publish, by the way, it's Vika is there, and if you want to jump at some point, just feel free.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that even if you just presenting your invention here in the conference before you registered it, so it's public domain and like the IP is gone. So important.
That's it. Game over. Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Game over. That's it.
But by the way, what I just said is it's a real issue. I mean, we saw like projects coming out of universities presented in events, but they said, okay, we did not write the patent yet, but we are working on it. But actually, it's public domain. It's over. So
now again, I think you should. So in any case, it means that you should create this awareness. It's very important. And you know what's most annoying? It happens sometimes after you invested a lot of money. You know? And again, even if you registered a patent, if you didn't do a search before, a real good search before, and this is part of the license officer's responsibilities and the patent committee that we will deal with, then you have a real issue. Okay?
Eitan, sorry, I think this is a very important issue because we come from the technology transfer perspective, which means that whenever the researcher wants to publish something and he comes to the tech transfer and say, hey, I need to publish something tomorrow, so please register the patent for me, conceptually tomorrow, okay? It means that the projects that are on the shelf of the tech transfer is there because of this perspective. So the tech transfer is not aware of the abilities of the researcher, what they're working on, until the stage that they need to publish and wants to write a patent. Okay? This is very important because from the tech transfer perspective, if you know the need, you can motivate, and we will talk about this, but you can motivate the researcher to aim there to the needs in the market. You can be aware of what they're doing and maybe what is relevant to requests of that comes to the door of the tech transfer. So it's really about enlarging significantly the pipe and the project that can be commercialized. Because, and we at AGW try to look at it in this manner, which means it's not a push approach, which means the researcher is coming to the tech transfer and telling him, look, I have something, please register it. We try to create the deal flow, create the projects, the researches, the solutions to the market needs, which means we transfer from a push method to pull method, which means the tech transfer is proactive. And I think this is really a place that can really enlarge the offering of the universities.
Okay, so once we understand that it's crucial, yes, to know to do it before, then we have to review it. And when I'm saying review it, we'll speak shortly about the panel committee. It means that we need to make sure that once the researcher coming to the TTO, we check it carefully, because everything starts from the basis, you know? If you don't do the preliminary checks at the beginning, you will end up paying a lot of money at the end of the day, because you start a process, very, very expensive process, we'll discuss it, but you didn't do the preliminary checks. So it's the easy part to say to a researcher, yes, okay, no problem, go and write down some provision or whatever, but if you didn't do the review before, then the mistake starts, okay? And you have so many researchers in your universities, so you cannot allow yourself to do mistakes, okay? Because if you need now to finance each mistakes, you probably end up in bankruptcy, okay? So this is something very important. Now, so probably we'll start with the provisional. Yes? Yes. No, and we will define it. Yes, and we will explain, by the way, shortly how it needs to be done under NDA agreement or NDA terms. And I'm going to verify with you, by the way, that in this proposal, it contains this kind of article. It's very important what you just mentioned. And my question to you is, when you send this proposal to the government agency, is there a disclosure article over there saying that this information is confidential? I hope it does. Okay, if not, then, no, this is a very, very good remark, by the way. A very good question, because you need to make sure, and I will go to it when I'm speaking about these confidential issues and about the ways, and I will try even to give you some minor tricks how to do it, how to keep this information confidential, okay? Very, very important, by the way. So if you have even proposal between agencies, government agencies, it should include this confidential clause. Very important, okay? You need to make sure. Because this can also disqualify potential patent. And now again, I apologize, but I come with like very high demands from you, okay? Because I want you to do it really good from the beginning. And I'm not going to make any discount on that. You know, I'm not here in order not to be polite or kind or only academical. I really want to make you good in this field, okay? This is the purpose of today. So when I'm saying this kind of things, please take it into your attention that this what should be done in order to protect your interest, okay? because this is what I care now, just to make sure that your interests are protected. Now, the provisional, and we will deal with it shortly, it's the most common phase in patent registration. It means that if we understand that there is something into it, and we will deal what is this something, this novel innovation, potential for novel innovation. We start with a pending request. It means that this is the preliminary stage in which we now buy this 18 months period. And this 18 months period is the most important part in which we will try to see if there is something inside this potential novel patent, okay? And how will we do it? And this is something that I will, again, say it, I think, a few times during today's session. You remember I told you that there is no rationale between the number of researchers and the license officers, yes? And why? And it's a matter of money. Money for the universities. It comes from both sides. Because if we submitted the provisional, so the next day, it should be like us trying to see if we can commercialize it. Very important, okay? Because this is the stage that we start commercializing. It means that we have to have this dialogue with potential buyers of this technology. This is the stage, at the very preliminary, you come up with your potential electronical scooter, okay? So, did you start commercialize it in any way? No yet. How many months passed from this? 4 months. So you lost 4 months of commercialization process, okay? But it's not you, by the way. It's the university. Because they should have these license officers. Because for you now to start and speaking with potential buyer, okay? For example, one of our partners here is the Amata Group, yeah? So they have all the cities. So for sure it might be interesting for them to put electronic scooter. So if you have this license officer that is familiar with this group, he can call, hello, I have a potential, and this is this, and then you start the process. So the license officer's responsibilities is to start the process, okay? Because for 2 main reasons after the provisional. One, he needs to bring money to the universities, so it starts from this stage. And the second thing, he wants to save money to the universities, because if you arrived after 18 months to the stage that you need to go forward to the PCT, and nobody was interested in this, okay? So why should you finance it? Why should the university finance the next stage? Because it's starting to be expensive, okay? It means that you have only 18 months to start an understanding if there is a real asset. At the end of the day, you know, it's very nice to write down for the protocol, yes, my university have 1,000 patents or whatever. But if you are not, so many pictures, huh? Like, tell me at one stage, we'll do like this, we'll do like this, we'll do all the assumption, you know? We'll do everything, so no problem. So we'll do a group photo. So actually, again, it's very important phase, okay? And I will keep emphasizing it again. Please don't do things only for the protocol. This is something that I see in Thailand many times. We are doing things, and I'm saying we because I feel part of your country, okay? We are doing things for the protocol. Yes, in the next meeting, we want to come up and say we registered this amount of patent, or we did this, but we need to be more than that, okay? We need to really do things in an efficient manner. And the efficient manner, from my perspective, I want to know at the end of the day, if I'm in the university and I'm in the patent committee, I want to hear facts. I want to know who are the companies. I will speak with my license officer saying, who are the companies that you approached this month? Is there any progress with the commercializers? This is what I would do because I want to see results. Now, just to come back to the potential that you have here. So in Israel, we started this in the 60s. We are, I think, the pioneers of this field. And we are making a lot of money from technology. So when I'm speaking a lot, I'm speaking about billions and billions of dollars. Okay? Billions of dollars. Zvika, for example, he was more than 10 years in the Hebrew University in Jerusalem. It's called ISUM. They make money more than the MIT in Boston, Massachusetts, yes? And we are speaking about, they are doing it in something like 1% or 10% budget then? 10% than the MIT budget, okay? But making more money. It means that, and the secret is not, nobody can blame the MIT for not bringing high technologies or not budgeting or whatever. I think the secret is trying to be efficient, okay, in a way that you actually take this innovation and try to spread it or try to commercialize it. So this is the potential, this billions of dollars of amount. And again, trust me, I'm saying it for a fact. You have this potential here in Thailand. Why? Because you have a very big market here. You know? And we work closely with the West, of course, yes? But they don't even take into consideration, I think, I don't know why. Maybe it's some kind of lack of abilities to communicate. Maybe it's mental issue. Maybe it's purely some kind of arrogancy. I don't know. Whatever. But they don't take into account how big is this market. You know? We are speaking about 60% of the population of the world, with all due respect, with very, again, strong industry that actually, in a way, moves the wheels of this world. So why shouldn't you take part of it? Okay? So this is the potential. And but in order for it to happen, let's be practical. Let's not tell story to ourselves. Let's see if we can really commercialize it. And by the way, I think this is, if you remember I asked you before, how come it happens this way? I think this is your weak spot. I think you should ask yourself, how strong can you be in this commercialized issue? I think this is the part in which you should check how many licensed officers you have per researcher, okay? Because you cannot understand, if I'm a licensed officer, now I need to speak with all the researchers, and I need to encourage them. So how many researchers can I meet with? Even if I'm real Superman, okay, which I'm not, and I don't intend to be, I cannot deal with more than 100 researchers, even if I'm doing it. I think it's around 50, Zvika? I think.
Yeah, it depends because like there is differences. There are researchers who are providing several inventions each year, while others, you know, you meet them just once in several years.
So again, it means that this is the basic. And the second thing, what is the training that I give to my licensed officers? How often do they speak with the industry, you know? How do they use and build this government? And one thing that is very important also that you should take into account, and this is my recommendation. okay? Build your strength on the coalition that you can do between the universities, okay? Try to come up with some kind of solution in which maybe you have some, let's say that Chiang Mai Universities is now speaking with universities in the south or in Bangkok or whatever, and each of them has his own networking with the industry, okay? Or the government agency, okay? Or, of course, you have link here to focalize it, okay? But you should build a very strong networking with the industry. You know, this is the real secret, by the way. And your industry encourages, because everybody knows that this is part of the game. By the way, the CVCs, the number of the CVCs here is just getting bigger and bigger. We have a receiving approach almost on a, I wouldn't say weekly or monthly basis from CVCs, corporate. When I'm saying CVCs, it's corporate VCs. It means that each of the big corporate now open a venture capital, open a fund in which he wants to invest in startups. Now, the best way is to communicate with the universities because they are at the early stage, so it's good for investors because the value is a little bit smaller. And they also the most, let's say, novel ideas come from the universities. Okay? So just your part in this to see how can you connect to them, you know? Like who, and again, question to you. Who is speaking? Is there any licensed officer here that is speaking today with the industry? Like you have meetings with SCG, PTT, whatever. Question? Okay, so either you're shy to answer. Yes? Yes? Okay, so this needs to be changed, okay? Or needs to be improved in a way that you know constantly about what's happening. You know, in each committee, we'll speak about the IP committee, and this will be my next question, by the way. How do you do it? Like, you just need to follow up. So it means that, I don't care, by the way, if it's like you have this business unit, but I want to know that the license officer is not waiting for them, he's pursuing them. And there is an organized process. Okay, I believe in processes. I believe in that you set something, you have it on a monthly basis, a follow-up, then you can check it, what's happening, what needs to be pushed. You cannot wait. Okay? It's okay setting up the infrastructure, which needs to be improved, but also you need to follow up on everything. This is how things really happen, you know? We have this word in Hebrew, it's called nudnik. It means like a guy, you know, that push stuff all the time, you know, this. So nudnik, it means I'm pushing it. I'm calling like every week, what's happening, what's happening, what's happening. In Thailand, sometimes you are too polite, okay? I don't want to disturb, I don't want, please take it out of the equation, become a nudnik, okay? Call, hey, I have a pattern, what's going on? I want to see, I want to push it, okay? This is the only way that things can be done, only if you push stuff. So I hope now you understand why you need to start this commercialization from the first step of pending. Is it clear? So the next time that we speak, I hope that we will, yes? Okay? So after so we have this PCT and we have this, the next step will be the national phase registration. We'll discuss, by the way, I will give you a slide with the months and everything, okay? And then we have the decision based on IP committee and IP budget, decision taking, and okay, before me coming into the post-commercialization activity, one more question. How many universities have a patent committee? You have a patent committee? What's the structure of your IP committee? Who is member? Who are the members? One second. I will give you the microphone that everybody will hear.
We have vice president of university to be the chairman of university. Yeah, and มีคนนอกด้วยไหม Me, yes, and we have industry. We have the committee from industry and intellectual property department. Yeah, and the lawyer, something like that. and about 10 member in about three months per one quarter. Yep.
Okay, so the good things that you have a patent committee. The bad thing is that you meet only once every 3 months. You have to meet once a month, you know? And once a month, again, it's even, by the way, even if you don't have new patent, okay? Which this is another question, why don't you have new patent? You have to follow up on the current patents. This commercialization, and again, remember, it's for making money and for saving money. Because for making money, it's clear, yes? You need to check. Also, in your case, you have somebody from the industry. So you are checking the status of what's happening. And I assume that even if you don't have many patents, you have pending. Like, by the way, I will take you as a test case. It's good for me. How many pending do you have, like, every quarter? How many pending do you check? 10? Okay, 10. So, no, it's fine, it's fine. It's again, not enough, but it's fine. It means that you have, let's say, an average 3 pending every month, new patent. This is more or less the statistic if I calculate it properly. So, again, you have things to do. Even just shorten the time, you know, minimize the number of the people. Do it only with license officer inside, but needs to be something of the follow-up. You know, something needs to be improved in the process in order for you, again, to make money, because then you can check it. Look at it from a private sector, meaning you have your monthly board meetings, okay? The board of directors, you know, in every company, if they really want to make progress, they have at least one month meeting. Just check what's going on, guys, you know? And then look at it like a business profit center. And I think each of us, if we open our own activity, we will do at least 1 month follow-up on our business, yes? So this should be the approach, okay? So, and this is the decision, by the way, that you will probably take when you are deciding in your patent committee how you are going to finance it, okay? And how many resources are you going to allocate for it, okay? So this is one thing very, very important. Now, by the way, you have also the post-commercialization activity. You want to say a few words about it, Zvika?
Yeah, but I think I will talk about it in length later on. So let's.
Okay, so let's jump, because there are also, after the commercialization activity, there are things that needs to be done. Yes.
To go on. That's what they're doing. But they don't form the strategy on, do we find more IP, do we finance it, or?
Yeah, I want to relate to this. Actually, the patent committee should, and this is like common knowledge in this area of tech transfer, that this forum, the patent committee, is dealing with IP events only, which means you need to write a PCT. Are you going to do this or not? Because the main expense, unlike other companies, main expense in tech transfer is the patent expenses, you know. So, but keep in mind that if they are dealing with the licenses and the license agreements, this is not part of the patent committee, because this is the work of the tech transfer. The tech transfer should have the right to take it to the end, because you go to a company, they want to license something, okay? You need to move fast on this. You need to be able to sign with them, because if a global company is coming to you and say, I want to license a specific technology or project or whatever, and you reach with them to business agreement, and then you go to a patent committee, which combines people that are outside of the tech transfer itself, and they say, okay, let's change it. So you go back to the potential licensee and reopen the terms. But this company says, okay, I don't mind, okay, I go on, because we reach an agreement, that's all, end of story, you know. We did all the process, and after we finalize this, you reopen the terms. This is the licensing issue, and this is very important that we have this issue as well. But the licensing should not be related to the patent committee. This is the discretion of the tech transfer, and maybe the CEO of the tech transfer, which is what he do all day, actually, a commercialization. The patent committee should decide upon patent events only. So maybe there is a patent committee in your case, but it's like twisted the original concept of patent committee, okay?
Okay, so now going very quickly now on just description of what is IP, yes? IP stands for intellectual property, and there are different kinds. So all of us heard about the word patent. We will deal with it, explain it shortly. There are also copyrights. By the way, if somebody have any kind of question, please ask specifically about it. Okay, maybe you are now having something that you need to explore or check, so please ask me. So copyrights, actually, it stands for creating, you know, books, literature, or something like this. So this is copyrights. You have trademarks, and by the way, you have also trade secrets, yes? Trade secrets is very common, by the way. It relates to, you know, Coca-Cola, it's the most famous trade secret, yes? The reason why they don't write it as a patent is because patent have like 20 years, and then it expires, but Coca-Cola had ambitious to do it for life, okay? So they keep it in a secret in like Switzerland, in different 3 places. So, but they keep the formula, okay? At least is this what the story tells, okay? So, but trade secret is very common for companies that don't want to expose their patent, so they just keep it. And we will explain shortly what are the terms, because it relates also to what you asked about the writing down the proposal for the agency, okay? How can you protect it? Okay, there is, of course, the know-how. There is the design, by the way, coming back to Coca-Cola, you know, on their bottle, the specific bottle of Coca-Cola, they have a design IP. And you have, of course, model, you have breeder's rights. I think you have it also in Thailand. It relates to, you know, agriculture and seeds or whatever. And you have the chip topography that's, of course, you can understand by what it stands for. Now, this is like the different IP. Now, patent, just few things really about patent. It grants exclusivity to the owner. In your case, by the way, the structure will be probably that the owner will be the I think in Thailand it's the funding agency that holds the title for the ownership. So it goes either, in Israel it stands for the university, but, or the...
Which is not ideal, right?
Yes.
Okay, maybe we'll talk about this, because
Okay.
if the funding agency and these funds in a academic project, I think this is not for good of the technology and the IP. Actually, the university or its arm, which is the tech transfer, should be the owner, and the licensee should have the exclusive rights. At least in Israel, and I know that in many other territories as well, if you get a grant, a governmental grant, so they do not get the IP, because anyway they have nothing to do with it, so it should be held by someone which can commercialize and have the potential and the potential upside to deal with it. So this is something structural that should be modified or changed, I think, because the academic grants usually should not include transfer of the IP rights.
Yes,
Okay?
and this is, you want to ask a question?
Yeah, I want to give you more background on what we have existing here. I would say like roughly 80% of the grants from the government agency, when there's an IP coming up later on, the owner, it's a joint owner between researcher in the university and the funding agencies. And just to give you more information, a lot of these funding agencies, they also have their own tech transfer office as well. The university has it, the funding agency also have it. We talked about this in Thailand a little bit at some point about a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly, that they tried to enact the BEDO Act, the one that you have in the US to make this thing all go away, but it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't go anywhere yet.
Okay, so it's a good example how we need to change things from the basis, because again, it doesn't make sense. You know, it doesn't make sense because, and this relates, Nasda, this is something that you should take into account, and you should take it into account when we are speaking about this, because really, why? It doesn't make sense that you have this TTO office over there, you have TTO, it's like overlapping on something that takes resources, and I think, without offending no one, it's not efficient, you know? And also, it creates some kind of burden on too many parties, because who is responsible? The TTO of the funding agency or the TTO? Someone needs to be responsible for making sure that everything works with a pattern, everything works with, and again, I'm saying we don't need to be smart, we just need to do what's working for other countries, you know? That's it. So as you just heard from Zvika, it gives really power to the TTO. This is the only way, and also the industry look at it. So yes, the funding agency, it's only legal, by the way, to set it, because we can secure their interest. Okay, this is no problem to secure their way to receive either royalties or to pay back the grants or the funding, whatever. This is the easy part, okay? It's legal, it's not, I assume that they write it to secure their interest, yes? But there are many other ways, more efficient way, by the way, to secure their interest. But still, okay, as I said, I'm not going to give discount. Meaning, I don't want no one now to say, okay, now I understand why it's not working. I'm going to blame the funding agency. No, okay? No. You are not going to blame no one. We will try to do how it's going to be. We'll try to think how it's going to be changed, but still, let's see how we can make it properly, okay? Still, we can do it. Even if there is something needs to be fixed, we are still responsible, okay? So, coming back to the patent, as I told you, the right exists for 20 years, okay? It sounds long. It's not that long, but it's enough for doing, for the university it's enough, because you remember we said the commercialized step should be before. And it means that the university will enjoy from it, not only if the universities, and we will deal with it, by the way. The university can be very smart in a way that if they do the license agreement and they move with it, whatever, they can maybe enjoy from it afterwards as well, you know? Because remember, patent, it's like this rabbit hole. You enter inside, you don't know where it will take you. So one of the most important things that we will deal with today is the research and license agreement, in which, if the university is smart enough, they can secure their rights for a period that will be longer than 20 years. We will deal with it, okay? Okay, so, okay, a patent, actually it's negative rights. It means that it says no one else can do anything with it. I'm the only one that have the exclusive rights to deal with patent, okay? So this is what it stands for. And one more thing, that all is relevant in specific territory. Coming back, you remember, we have this 18 months of commercialization. We have a limited budget, and we need to plan our strategy. Where are we going to write the PCT? In which country are we going to write the patent? And this is the expensive. So it's a part in which you really need to take a careful decision. And again, not only for the protocol, not only for the record, okay? The TTO should think, yes, the university, and this is what the state of mind should be. The university, yes. The purpose of the university is to try and nurture, you know, science, progress, everything. This is actually what the university was meant to be, an institution that can help people and inspire them in order to develop new ideas, in order to get into deep research and do something new, do development, promote the world, you know? It's really the cradle of innovation, you know? But still, the TTO should be the businessman, saying, guys, okay, you are into this academic issues, I'm making money. Okay? It's nice. He's the guy, if there is one guy stands here and he's the guy that he's the philosophical, saying, I'm from the university, I care about innovation, I want to inspire people, and I want to do this. So the guy from the TTO is the guy that sits in this table and say, okay, I listen to you, where's the money? Where's the money? I want to see the money. How can I commercialize things? And if this guy comes and say, yes, but you know, I need to promote new ideas. I'm from the university. I'm not a businessman. I'm come from the academic life. And this is, so this guy comes again and say, okay, I heard you, but you want to buy cheese, you want to buy bread, you want to buy pad thai, whatever, you need money for it. You want to open new laboratories, you want to do new research, you cannot rely only on the funding agency. And this guy is the guy that's taking care of this guy's interest. So the TTO should be very business strict oriented. He should try to explore how can he promote the interest of the university. He is the guy that should come up and say, I want to make money for the universities because without me doing my responsibility as a businessman, there is no real future to the university to do something for itself. The university will always rely on government funding. And the part of the TTO, and I'm telling you again, in Israel, billions of dollars the TTOs are making, and this gives, it really pushes the university one step forward because it becomes even more attractive. You know why, by the way? Because if I'm a researcher, and now I'm very professional, okay? And I can choose which university am I going to. And I know that there is a university in which they're making a very good work, a very good TTO. So I know that I have percentage. And this is something else that we need to discuss, by the way. But I'm, as a researcher, holds percentage in the patent. So, and I know that this guy from this university is very strong in commercialization. So this can be a factor for me to go to this university. So it means that if you're doing a good work in the TTO, probably you will be much more attractive for a qualified researcher. You know, and I think each of us, if he is thinking of developing something and he needs to choose university, honestly saying, who is going to choose a good university, a very big university with weak TTO, or a medium university but with a very strong TTO?
Eitan, more than that, I think that important to emphasize that revenues coming out of technology transfer activity, part of it are going back to the lab, should go back to the lab, and promote research funds as well. And part of it goes directly to the university, which is like free money for the university, so it can help them also maybe build new laboratories or do things there. So actually this also a vehicle that feeds itself and be attractive to researchers as well.
Okay, so now what can be a patent, by the way, okay? Going back to the basic level, it can be a product, okay? This is clear, product, yes? But also a process can be protected by patent, okay? It shouldn't necessarily be a product. Even if you have a process, you can protect it by patent. Algorithm, new use, okay? And of course, this relates, you know, this transgenic animals or plants, devices, and even business methods, okay? In part of the countries, by the way. You want to say something?
Yeah, in the States, for example, there are new kind of patents. The States now allows to write IP protection on some unique business methods, etc. But let's move on.
Yes. And but by the way, we will, all this information that will be shared with you. The only thing that might be confidential from our point of view is this research and license agreement, which is really quite confidential, but of course we share with you. But you will receive also a copy of this presentation, no problem, okay? So for those of you. So it means that this is now, by the way, again, coming back to the license officers, he should be the guy that is in touch with law firms, you know, that are qualified in IPs. And he should know, he should have this ability, if somebody comes and say, okay, I don't have a product, but there is some process that I think can be done differently. You know,
and if there is a tech transfer which is large enough and with a lot of volume, so it has a IP department. So actually they are working closely internally and they are using, upon demand, they're using the external firms.
Yes. Now, what a patent should be, it should stand for the following. And again, this is more or less relevant for all the countries, okay? There are some countries in which they emphasize on one part, but it should be useful, again, novel, non-obvious, enabling description, because you need to, you cannot say, I have something, but I cannot describe it, okay? So it doesn't make sense. And written description which prove you can have a patent, okay? This is very important again. And so this again and again explain the way in which the license officers should be qualified in order to understand things very easily, because if you are speaking, remember why I said that you cannot, it's not rational that one licensed officer will be in charge on 500 researchers. It doesn't make sense. How can he check? How can he meet with them? Like, even if we meet with researcher every day, it's like taking him 1.5 years. And he needs, by the way, to check if they have like this, all these parameters. Now, yes, not all of the researchers are coming with patents or whatever, yes? But, by the way, I was not polite. I didn't ask Link, do they need like a break for something or? A lunch break, okay? Okay. Okay, but again, remember the agreement, the non-formal agreement? If somebody needs to go to the restroom or whatever, just feel free, okay? I don't want to hold you because I can speak for hours. I have disability, so I can keep you here like 2 days just speaking and speaking. And so if you want to go outside, drink something or restroom, please do it. Yes?
Okay, yeah. We don't have professional in Thailand, so I'm thinking, should I touch upon that now on what strategy we should do to sort of make it happen without the professional version that we have?
I will relate to this in
Later.
length because it's very important.
Yes.
It's one of the most important issues that you
Yes.
touched, and we want to relate to it.
Okay.
Yes,
But let me check with
Okay, so again, just to focus on the pattern, I promise you this is the only thing that I'm going, all the others are very, but this is important just for you to be familiar because, again, I don't know, most of you heard about patent or whatever. I don't know if you ever saw in your life patent request or something, so I think it's nice for you to be aware of it, okay? So basically, when it goes to patent, okay, all these sections must be included in the patent. The title, as we said, who is the owner, the field of innovation, just background, summary, details, claims, and claims, by the way, it doesn't mean that somebody submit a claim against you. It means that you claim this to be your patent, okay? And in the pending, by the way, it starts very general. You need to have a good IP firm that covers, that knows which field of, and one more important thing, I don't know how develop your approach with IP firms, because you need, when you go to a lawyer that writes patents, it means that he needs to understand about this field. So if I'm a software IP, it doesn't mean that I can deal with your scooter, for example, you know? You need to find some mechanical engineer background that will understand it at least as good as you once you explain it to him, because he needs to write down the claim, and he needs also to think with you about the future, what can be evolved out of it. So if he's smart enough, he will write a claim that can, you know, comprehensive, exactly, okay? Because patent, again, as I said, can develop to many fields. So it's very important that you will have here. And by the way, I'm not sure that in Thailand they cover all the fields. This is why we, for example, and of course we'll be more than happy to share all this with you. We are connected to all the big firms in the world, and we know part of the most important thing is to find the right IP lawyer, okay? Very important. So like we have firms of more than 200, 300 patent editors in many kinds of fields in which we know exactly who is the best guy in the world to write this patent, okay? So this is one thing very important. And again, remember, we'll reach out to the course shortly. This is nice, okay. Just for you, again, to see the patent, how it works, like the title stands for the general description, yes? The background will explain the problems of the, what does it deals with, the invention. The statement of invention will make summary of what is developed inside the invention. The advantages why does this future, all the features of this inventions. Detailed description will deal like how the invention works, and drawing claims, like this is, you need sometimes to draw. In your example, I assume you also added some draws inside. And the claims, what I just said, define essential features of the invention. And abstract. Abstract means like a brief summary, okay? It's at the beginning of the patent. This is what, by the way, you see, United States patent. This is how it looks like. The drawing, by the way, you can see down. Okay, this is how it looks. I don't know if you ever saw this form. You should have as many papers as this, okay? I wish you, by next time we meet, to have dozens and dozens of papers like this, okay? This is money, yes? Okay? So this is like a pattern example. Yes, you see, it's just for you to see how it looks like from provision patent applications and everything, how it stands, the title, the background, the field, the summary, the inventor, okay? Specifications, again. Okay. Now, when we are speaking about patent, by the way, so the patent family, and remember I told you that you need to find, you have one of your good partners will be an IP firm, because they need to be smart enough in order to protect your current patent, but also, more than that, to decide what should be your patent strategy. You don't know for a fact how it's going to be developed. And I'm speaking now about researchers, because, and always remember, probably the guy, the researcher, will be part of this. You remember these two guys? The researcher and the university, and the guy that stands here and is practical, is interested in making money for the university. Yes? So the researcher probably will start in this side. He doesn't know about all of this, He usually will come and say, I have something interesting. I have a new invention in mind. He's not like this guy that is, where's my money? I want to see the money. Where's the money? So the research, in order to find the right way to protect both interests, you need this IP, a very good IP firm that can, one, protect the current invention, but more than that, also decides what is the next step, what will be the strategy, how will the patent develop. And if it's a good firm, they probably ending up with meeting many potential people in many countries, by the way, if it's an international firm, and they can know if there is something into it, that should be covered. So when we speak about the patent family, so probably the first patent is very broad, but can be attacked. Okay? Other patents will remain even if the first patent falls. So, again, speaking about patent strategy. The first one, because it's like very big, so probably other people thought about it as well. Something similar, okay? And remember that if we are speaking about something that can make a lot of money, then people will try to attack it, saying, no, we thought about it before. We have this idea before. We had this in mind. But if you have a good firm, they will write more patents on specific things, on specific parts. Inside the patent, it will be much more narrow, much more clear, and this will be part of the chain. So imagine that you have a big chain, okay? So even if somebody tried to cut the chain in some place, then you have another chain that covers it, okay? Smaller chain. So if he tried to attack you, still you have something inside the chains that he cannot attack. And then starts the business, because they understand that he cannot attack you. And this is and please try to forget from any novel thoughts that, oh, I wrote something and they will respect it. No, it's business process. When big companies want to purchase something from the universities, they will pay big money only after they checked that they cannot attack it and do it by themselves. Okay? Remember it. They will not want to share anything with the universities. Why should I if I can make it and I'm protected? You know? You remember that I told you that patent is a negative right. So they need to understand very good that if they do it without consulting with us first and using something that we wrote as a patent, we will go to court and we will stop this process, okay? So only if they are intimidated enough to know that we have a strong patent, then they will speak with us. This is the only way that we can really make money, okay? Now, platform patent should be enlarged in order to capture broader fields. This is what we spoke about before. Patent, which relates to the platform patent, should remain while license-specific patents, like application or whatever. And by the way, if something is not clear, please tell me, okay? Products should be specifically protected by the patents. And the patent family increase the ability to defend the platform, although the costs are higher. Okay?
Actually, from the tech transfer perspective, if you have a family of patents and you write patent to specific users or specific applications or whatever, so it enables you to commercialize the same patent or the same patent family to different licensees. You can take some, I don't know, drug delivery system, for example, to a company that deals with, I don't know, some kind of diseases, while take the same method to other player which is interested in different applications, but the delivery system can be relevant to him. That's one thing. The other thing, which is very important, is that this is also a way to continue and to have protection for more than 20 years, because you work on the platform, so even though the umbrella patent expired, you can still protect the patents that come out of it along the years, and you just can continue and keep the platform and like having it on air for many years. Okay.
Now we spoke about single patent costs. Okay. So as I said, it's a budget that you should run. And I think this slide can explain you why it's very important to have this strategy with the license officers and the patent committee. You cannot meet once every 3 months. Okay? You cannot, because this is business. Now, if you didn't check what's going on with potential electronic scooter that one of the researchers did, and it seems like a very nice potential patent on a monthly basis, and okay, if you didn't push it once a month, so it means that like something needs to be changed, because your challenge, for example, will be when you reach the 18 months, and they will need to pay this amount of, because, okay, they were large enough to pay this few hundreds of dollars or whatever for the provisional. But now you need to convince them in the PCT to take out something between $10,000 to $20,000. You know? And we are speaking about big money here now from the university. So if they didn't do the commercialization before, why should they pay?
Yeah, that's what happened with one of my friends who is a researcher in our university, and he was applying for a patent, U.S. patent, and obviously the university have to spend a lot of money on that, and since the university TTO officer haven't done much of the homework, so they instead convinced the researcher just apply for Thai patent instead of U.S. patent, and that's like kind of a bottleneck that we face right now.
I want to.
Mhm.
Go ahead.
Okay, you go ahead. And another one that I was having a question about patent strategy that you mentioned earlier. Like, are we supposed to plan a strategy of like how to patent this first and all the details of, for example, my scooter case at the beginning, or should it be like, what kind of timeline should we plan on this? Because before coming here today, I never think about planning a strategy on having my patents at all. I was just file a patent and that's it. And I think that was done and it should be protected. And that's all I know. So I don't know how to plan or think ahead. If you have any suggestion.
You will answer, then I will answer.
Yeah, okay, I will relate to it. It's also related to your previous question about
Okay,
filing,
the first one.
filing patents in Thailand only. One of the things that we saw along the years that we are here is that Eitan spoke a lot about the ratio, the non-reasonable ratio between the amount of researchers and the patent filings. But there is another issue. If there is a patent, usually here in Thailand, it's being written in Thailand only, while in other locations, tech transfer usually write it in 4 or 5 locations, which means the local location, US, Europe, China, Japan, things like that. This is more or less, and depend in part of the cases, unique with a market in a specific area, so they go there as well. But generally speaking, when I think about this habit of writing patents in Thailand only, I must say I really don't understand the benefit of it, of writing in Thailand only, okay? Because if we look at this, we can see that, first of all, the tech transfer, it should not cost the global registration. In the end of the day, will not cost more than just a Thai patent. And I tell you why, because in the first phase, you check, okay, a specific technology, and you do not need to check too much before you register a provisional, because you know it's several hundreds or several thousands of dollars. Usually with $500 you can register a provisional patent. It will not give you much, but it will, one thing will give you for sure. This will give you the priority date, okay? Nobody can write after that a patent on this technology. So you have now 18 months, okay? You have 18 months to run on the commercialization. And in this phase, the tech transfer should run like crazy on this. You cannot be in a place that there are several different organization dealing with the different processes. There should be one focal point who is running to the strategic players, to the financial players, to the CVCs, to the department with doing R&D, to everybody, to the entrepreneurs, to establish startup. It doesn't matter which one vehicle, but this is the period that the tech transfer should run on the commercialization. After 18 months, you need to have a good idea in order to justify the PCT, okay? You need to be in processes with several potential licensees, and only then you can register it. So if you're looking on budget perspective of the tech transfer, let's assume the university is willing to write annual patent expenses of, I don't know, 10 million baht or whatever, it doesn't matter. So you need to work accordingly. So you can write a lot of provisionals and give the chance to the commercialization. But after a year and a half, you should have some indication. If everybody telling you it's not interesting or did not even respond to you and you could not get a reasonable response, so maybe this says something. Maybe there is no need. Maybe the market does not want it. And if you have an indication and you write the PCT and you pay the 10,000 US dollars, so you have another year. The concept should say that no tech transfer should have on its shelf a patent in national phase. He needs, in this period of 2.5 years, 18 months plus 1 year, to commercialize it, to understand this, to be able to, if you got to the national phase and you did not commercialize it, so you should drop it. Unless you are in a very advanced stage with a global company, so you can fall in this phase for, I don't know, not more than 1 year, once a year, okay? But all this should be melted and be according to the budget, okay? So you need to have a lot of provisionals, much less PCTs, and no national phase, or almost no national phase. All of this in the budget frame. If you keep in mind, if you write one national phase patent, keep in mind you should maybe drop 50 other patents, because it's all linked to your budget that you are committed to the university, to your shareholder, which is in the tech transfer the university, or the office that you belong to the university. So this should be kept in mind. But in order to be efficient, you need an efficient organization, efficient technology transfer, a one focal point that knows everything that is happening with the commercialization, what is the status of the IP, what did you receive as a response from all related parties that you try to commercialize to along the way. So all this should be very efficient, because you must be efficient during that 2.5 years. Otherwise, the national phase will arrive, but you will have to drop it, and maybe it's a good one, and you just was not fast or efficient enough in the commercialization process. With regards to your question, like about how to look at the patent family strategy, okay? Maybe you do not have enough understanding. Let's be honest, the researcher knows a lot about what he's doing, but he have small understanding really about the need in the market in many cases, the uniqueness, which means he can tell that this is patentable, but he cannot tell if there are maybe other patents that doing the same work in a more cost-effective manner or more efficient or whatever. So he should be able in the first stage to gather some information, and maybe if the tech transfer is efficient, he have a lot of connections in the industry and can get inputs and understand which applications are here, which are the relevant applications, what you can do with it, okay? And write the patent family accordingly. And maybe if you do not have enough information because it's too early stage, go for the provisional. It will not cost a lot, but along this process, you should communicate with the potential licensees, regardless if you will get a yes or no from them. But you need to be in a good enough relation to get input. If they say no to you, you should be able to analyze it and say, is it because they are not focused on this area in the end of the day, or is it not a good enough solution for them, okay? you talked about the scooter, so maybe the ingredients that you are working on is relevant to the scooter. And Nathan said, okay, probably Amata needs scooters, okay, but maybe you are not there yet. Maybe there is no full scooter, but these ingredients are very relevant to the automotive industry. Keep in mind, most of Amata customers are the automotive industries all over. So maybe you can reach them. So this is the strategy. Are you writing a patent on scooter? What is your claim to fame as a researcher? Is it some parts that are very unique? Okay? If your parts are unique, so maybe you should write the patent on them. Leave the scooter aside. Maybe it's relevant to different kinds of vehicles. Okay? But this should be synchronized with the tech transfer and with the relations with the industry all over, in Thailand and outside of Thailand. And in this manner, you write a patent in Thailand only, but if you take this approach and say, okay, I'm willing to write a lot of provisionals, and according to the progress, you narrow the funnel. So in the end of the day, on average, there is a good chance that it will not cost a global registration, will not cost more than just Thai patent. That's what I mean when I say I don't see the benefit out of it, okay?
So again, this is, you know, it's fine. You're in a very good company. It's called Naive Land. You know? Like, many of us like naive, thinking, but this is, when it comes to big money, nobody's naive, trust me. So you need to make sure that when you write your patent, you will be smart enough to explain because it's in your brain. You know, you need to sit with the IP, you need to sit with the TTO, you need to push in order to make, remember this word, nudnik, you remember in Hebrew? Everybody just say nudnik. 1, 2, 3, nudnik. Please remember this word, okay? It means the guy that push. So you need to be a pusher in order for things to happen, okay? So, so this relates to the strategy, okay? This nudnik approach, just making sure and then building it properly to make sure that on the next stage, even if the broad will fall, then you will have it. Now, you have to also, shortly I know that we're going to lunch break. I know, I understand, okay. But,
reason why
yes.
what they would, the university teacher would like you to file in Thai, because if it's filed from the university, it's free in Thai, right? For the for the cost for the annual fee is waived, right? Yeah, so there's no cost to pay each year.
But you use an external firm to write it.
Sure, I mean
they charge something. The fees is not like the fees is not necessarily the high cost.
Sure. Yeah.
Yes,
but like
and
they have the staff for it.
Yes, but this actually, this is the small thing. This is the small money. The writing going to the PCT, there's where it starts to be expensive. And this is the stage when even if you have a great invention, you know, but in this 18 months, nothing really happened from commercialized, and nobody said that this is interesting. So with all due respect, if I'm from the TTO, I would say, I'm sorry to destroy your dream. You know, that's it. But in order to be in a position that I can destroy your dream, I should be professional enough to do this 18 months period of really checking if there is a potential, you know, because otherwise it's not fair, it's not decent, you know, and it will not work because researcher will not, they will try to find other places that respect their dreams, you know. This is what will happen. And if you have, I'm telling you, if you want to create the best university in Thailand that will be, and I'm telling you for a fact, even if there is the smallest university here, but if you will focus on nurturing and establishing a strong TTO office, I can secure you that within 10 years, it will be the best university in Thailand. Very clearly. The best university in Thailand, because everybody will go there, and they will have probably international delegations, and many things will happen. This is the engine of the university, this TTO, you know? It's real engine. Now, before you're going to lunch, you know, everything, and the...
I wanted just...
Yes?
Okay, a short one.
Yes?
With regards to global registration, actually, I think we are here to dream big dreams, not small dreams. So even if your inventions is the best and is registered only locally, no global company will take it, because you know they have their channels of distributing already. It's there, and they must add the product into their channels. So they will not do that if they cannot register and they have exclusivity all over. So
and you know, even if you convince them, you will come with all your passion, you know, and you will say, yes, but my scooter is the best, I'm going to do it. So yes, maybe you will also convince them to go to the PCT. But when it goes to this $100,000 of only the NP, yes, when it goes, no chance, I'm telling you, like, unless you have very good connection with someone or whatever, that they will write it down if you don't convince them that they can make money. Now, again, you should approach it as a business-wise. You have business here. The university, the TTO, I'm speaking about TTOs, okay? It's a business perspective. It means that you have assets. You are sitting on potential gold, diamond, or other resources that worth money. And it's your approach if this will really stands for gold or plain, you know, plain metal. It's up to you, really. It's up to your approach. Now, before going to lunch, I can say two things, okay? One is that the best is in front of you from the day, like we only started, okay? So you will hear, I think, more things that are relevant also to the actual establishment of the technology transfer. And also I want to tell you like a small story before you go to lunch. I hope that it will go as well in English, okay? You know, the story tells about two people. They are shoe sellers. They are selling shoes in their countries. So the business is not so good in the country. So somebody tells them, you know what? I think you should go to Africa. You know, go to Africa. I heard that there is a good business for shoe sales. So both of them buy a ticket, fly to Africa, see lions, giraffe, monkeys, everything. Then they come back to their country. Now somebody that knows them asks them, well, how was your trip? Now, both of them said, it was very nice from lions and giraffe and monkeys. But one guy said, such a bad country to go to do business. Nobody wears shoes over there. And the other guy said, whoa, it's an amazing country to go to. Nobody wears shoes there. You know? So it depends which perspective you are looking at. You can say, okay, in Africa, nobody wears shoes, so why should they buy shoes from me? I should say in my country. The other guy see the potential. He says, nobody wears shoes, they will buy shoes for me. So this should be your approach, I think. Be this guy that see the potential. Don't come up and say, the system here doesn't work or whatever. No, 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 you have a very good potential here. Because of the fact that there aren't many patents here, I'm saying it's not because Thai people are not, no, they come up, trust me, statistically speaking, I'm sure that there are many inventions here. I'm sure, statistically, it doesn't make sense that there aren't, okay? As I said, no monopoly in wisdom. There are a lot of smart people here in Thailand, wise people. I can speak for a fact, okay? You can take a deposition from me. There are smart people here. But something in the system needs to be changed in order to take this potential higher, okay? So please be this guy. The guy that says, it's a great country. Nobody yet is doing it properly. I will be the first one that will push it. Okay? Okay, enjoy your lunch and see you after the break. Thank you.